Welcome to the print farm, so to speak. I have relocated my print farm, as if you watched any of my previous videos, to the basement of our house in our office area for many reasons. But what we're going to get into here is what I have right here. This is the Anycubic Kobra S1 combo, and just for full disclosure, I buy this my own self. No sponsors. Now that I got the grammar police all wound up and reaching for their keyboards. No, I did purchase this myself, my own money. Anycubic does not know I'm doing this. They're not sponsors. I'm not an affiliate. It's kind of the same thing with the Bamboo Lab printers that are behind me here. There's a P1S, a couple X1 carbons. I got some A1s over there. Bamboo Labs does not support me or sponsor me either, so no affiliates. So everything I'm going to be doing here is going to be completely honest, above board. I don't need to say anything nice about anything, but if it works well, and that's what's important. What I don't like is something that does not work well, and well, then I tend to get rid of that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do here is, I don't normally do unboxings of this type of thing, but this is going to be something different. I also have the Kobra Max, which also arrived today, but I'm not going to do that video quite yet because I have to make some space for it over yonder. Figure out where I'm going to put it. So we'll get this thing unboxed and see what we got here. Okay, so I set this on the floor to make it easier to get out of the box. So one of the first things that's right on the top is a user manual here, and we'll look at that later. And also in the top here is a little compartment in the foam, and you've got 3 little alien wrenches there. Allen wrenches for all you grammar police. I know you just love to get all over me for that. So we got to get this thing out of the box, and I am hoping it is going to be similar to what like the Bamboo Lab printers are, where you just grab the plastic and pick the whole thing up out of the box. Got some protective plastic corners here, and I know they'll end up everywhere if I don't pull them out ahead of time. Of course, this would be easier if you had 2 people. See if I can grab that with my feet. This thing weighs like 50 pounds, so it's not like you can just snatch it right out of the box. Like I said, 2 people would be nice here. And from there, we'll put it up on the counter. Okay, so from here, let's get some plastic and foam off of this, see what we got. Foam on the top. Of course, there'll be foam on the bottom. We need to lift the printer up out of that. The plastic up off of it. This would really be nice if I had another person here to do this. Okay, how do you do this by yourself? There we go. Just turn it around to the front. There's a lot of plastic on it here that needs to be peeled off, like so. And from the top, we got the screen up here, some foam. And of course the filament distribution center, I like to call AMS, although that's not what Anycubic calls it, but that's what Bamboo Labs calls it. So we'll get to that here in a second. And we've got a little instruction thing here that tells you in Chinese how to remove it. But if you look at the other side, there is English there, so not a big deal. You need to remove some screws marked in red to remove the filament distribution. It's called an ACE Pro Unlock Guide. So I guess it's called an ACE Pro. And it's got some foam around it, of course. So we'll get into getting those screws removed. There are, I know you can't see this from this angle, but there are two arrows pointing right here to the screws you need to loosen to remove the filament distribution. For this, you'll need the 2 M&M alien wrench that comes with it. Yes, M&Ms are millimeters, so you grammar police can just keep your comments to yourself. Okay, got the 2 little screws extracted there. Should be able to pull this right out of the top. Just like so. We'll set that off to the side here. There's a lot of packing, etc. inside. Try to turn this around so you can see a little bit. So you see there's packing around the head, there's some foam in here, there's some other cardboard packing. You'll need to remove all that stuff. Okay, once you have all that stuff removed, they'll show you on this little sheet that's in there right here. Hope you can see that. There's 4 screws that need to be removed from the base. I have no way to get a good angle here to show that, but they're marked with red arrows, and if you look inside the printer, you'll see that. Those 4 screws need to be removed so you can remove this plastic shipping piece. Okay, once you remove the 4 screws, you'll have this piece that'll come out here that kind of looks like this. And just a little side note is the 2 rear screws were extremely tight. That's not a down thing, but just to let you know they're going to be extremely tight. You're not just going to spin them out with your fingers real quick. There's one more screw to take out. It's in the back behind the PEI plate. And again, I can't show that, but there is a little red arrow which points right to it. Okay, as you unpack it, there'll be this box in the back that has some things in it, and there's some useful things in here. Whoops, don't lose that. That's my filament feeder. We have a power cord. We have another power cord, because you'll need one for the, I'm still calling it an AMS. I know they call it something else here, but, and you have a connection cable for the filament distribution center, I guess we'll call it. Looks like you have a external filament holder and screws, and everything is marked. So for the spool holder, for the filament hub, this here being the filament hub, but we'll get to that. And then we have quality control sticker. We have some tube spacers. We have a flash drive in here. Yep, flash drive. We have nozzle cleaning module and nozzle silicone part. And we have a little nozzle cleaning needle. I get a hold of that. Common to most 3D printers, you'll have a needle you can stick up in the nozzle if you get a clog. And then we have a activated carbon for the air filter. Okay, the filament distribution is called an ACE Pro. So we'll get the right name here, like I say, because I'm so used to Bamboo Labs, I like to call it an AMS. But this is an ACE Pro, and I know it has a filament dryer built into it. Getting it unpacked here, getting some of the plastic off of it. And there's lots of plastic to remove. Lots of protective film. Ooh, static. So we'll get this set up here. This does require a separate power source, so that's why there are 2 power cords. I'm just going to set this up here on top for a minute. Okay, so we'll open this thing up. Oh, more plastic. You do need to slide this little lever on the front to the right to unlock it. At least that's what it says. Now you wouldn't think this would be that difficult. Got a little thing here that shows unlocked. I understand there's some packing in there that may be holding this, but wow, I can't get this open. I got to use tools to do this. Wow, that was really stuck. Okay, we got her. piece of foam up there to remove. Some PEI tubing in here, which will need to be installed. We also give you a sample of filament to use, and this is pretty cheesy. I mean, this is, for what these cost, they could definitely give you a little bit more than, it says 10 meters here. That's not much to play with when you're getting started out. As far as the auxiliary filament holder for the back, I am going to put it on this one. I did not put it on my other ones because I don't generally use TPU. But I may use this one for TPU, so for that reason, I will be installing the auxiliary filament holder. You cannot use TPU through the ACE unit here, or for an AMS for all that matter on bamboo. The TPU doesn't work there. You have to feed that externally. Okay, so looking at the back here, this is the back of the unit. We have a spool holder right here. There's two holes right there that just goes right there, like so. You'll need your 2 M&M alien wrench. They do supply the screws for this. So it's just a matter of putting the screws in. Don't over tighten those because you could easily strip that out. Okay, the filament hub right here. You've got a 6-pin plug with 4 pins in it. That will plug in right here. And this needs to mount. They do give you the screws for it. It's here somewhere. There they are. For filament hub. They are marked. And just for reference, it goes on like this, not like this. So your outlet will be at the top up here. That's where this PEI tube will plug into. And your tubes coming off of here, which we'll get to in a minute, will plug into the bottom. You got 2 screws, 1 on each corner. Well, I'm sure that's hard to see, but I almost did a boo-boo here. I mean, it's black on black, and you know, it's hard to see, but on your auxiliary spool holder, there's a little tab that sticks up. And I actually had this mounted backwards first, but that little tab that sticks up needs to go towards the printer. Okay, and here's still in the back of the printer, once you have the ACE Pro hub installed, the 6-pin connector, there's a connection right here where that plugs in. It only goes in one way, you don't need to try to force it. And then you'll have a 4-pin connector, which will connect between here and the ACE Pro unit up top. And your other cable is a 6-pin. On one end that fits into the ACE Pro unit. The other end is a 4-pin, and that will plug in right down here next to the hub. Now the Teflon tube that comes out of the printer goes into the connector on the top. Make sure you push that in all the way. Now you'll have four more Teflon tubes. You'll have one coming out of each one of the, on the ACE Pro here, you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's little clips on the back here, little blue clips. You need to take those off. Otherwise you'll never get your tubes in all the way. So you take those off, get your tube in, make sure it seats in all the way. Then reinstall the little clip. So when you're done, it'll look like that. Okay, next would be to connect the Teflon tubes to the hub here, but these will then plug into the hub right here. Okay, that's all the connections on the back other than the power cord. Got that right here. Get that plugged in over here. I'm not going to turn the switch on yet. I got to turn this around, and we need to put the carbon filter in. Well, this is going to be just about impossible to show, but on the back of the printer here, there is a grill with a little clip on it. You take this plastic cover loose, goes off like this. This carbon filter goes inside that compartment. Then you put the clip back on. Okay, we are ready for the initial power up. So, like, I wish that these 3D printer manufacturers would put the switches on the front. I hate that they always got them in the back. Display's coming up, the LED light's coming on inside. Waiting for the screen to boot here. Okay, language. I probably ought to go with English. Region global. Okay, we're not in China. Wi-Fi scanning. There's my network. Okay, scan the code to install the app. I'm not going to put an app on my phone for this. So we'll skip that. Need to insert the U-disc. That would be this guy here. A little slot right up here at the front. So we are inserted. Hit start. And it's going to do a self-test. An input shaping and auto level, and you don't need to watch all of that. That'd be kind of boring. But that's what it's going to do here next. Connect your Wi-Fi. You'll be prompted to put your password in for your Wi-Fi network. I didn't show that obviously, but it will. You'll get a confirmation screen when you are connected. And you may get a message to come up about doing a firmware update, so you definitely want to confirm that and update the firmware. It'll download it, and it'll take a little bit. After the firmware download does this downloading thing and installing thing, you'll need to manually reboot, which means turn the power off, turn it back on. I think it took about 8 minutes to do the update. While it's doing its input shaping and etc., it will make some noises. That is normal. Don't be alarmed. You'll hear some vibration noises like this. That's normal. It's checking for resonance. As it does its auto leveling, you may see things jump around and bounce around and everything. That's normal. So it's just getting itself calibrated. Can't get everything calibrated, so now I need to load some filament in here. So we'll open the top here. Boy, I'm a little tight here on space. There we go. So I'm using, the filaments I'm using here today are PLA Plus. This is from eSun, one of the companies we use their filament from, because I never have any problem with it. And that is the whole key. If you have problems with something, you don't want to use it anymore. So we'll trim the end of this, and we'll put a white here in number 1. This is supposed to self-feed. Hey, it does. That's amazing. So I'm just using black and white here. So I'm going to leave slot number 2 open right now because I don't have another roll of white. I'm going to use 3 and 4. I'm going to put black in. There it goes. Always helps if you trim the end of your filament with a 45-degree angle on it. It'll make it easier for the machine to feed it. And it doesn't matter what machine you have, it's just kind of a universal thing. You put that little angle on the end, it'll be easier to feed. And there it goes. As said, I don't have another roll of white right now, and I don't have any other colors I want to put in there at the moment. So we'll go with that. Latch the cover shut. Print something, we got to check this thing out. So best thing to print would be a benchy. It's not like I don't have enough of them sitting around. There's some choices here, a PETG benchy or a PLA. Well, since we have PLA loaded here, we're going to go with the PLA one. Doesn't make any difference here. It looks like it's going to be a number 1. Then we'll hit start printing. Oh, now we can pick the color here. So yeah, we'll do number 1. We'll make it white. I'll have to set my material color. I'll have to go back to here and set my colors. Touchscreen's pretty intuitive. Okay, so we got all our colors picked. Now we go back to print. Now we can start printing. And we got to let the bed heat up and the hot end heat up. Looks like it's looking for the bed at 55C, but the filament on the hot end is 170C, and since it's PLA plus, I really need to have that a little higher. So we can go here, my nozzle temperature, and let's change that to 210. And we'll go back to the print. We're side the door open here just so you can kind of see what's going on. With this particular one, you do not have to have the door open for PLA. On the bamboo ones you do. You would want it closed, of course, for ASA or ABS. But when you are running PLA or PUTG on the Bamboo Lab Core XY printers, you need to either have the top propped open or you need to leave the door open. This one here, it has, supposedly you don't have to do that. So we're kind of a bed level check right now. This is normal. Once it does that, it heats everything up again. So it's heating up the hot end, got the bed up to temperature. So shortly here it'll start printing. Right now it's feeding filament. You probably can't see that. I'm going to get that up there. So it's feeding the filament now. And the flashing LED on the front is telling you which spool it's using. Okay, and away we go here. Doesn't give you a elapsed time on here. Well, it says 43 minutes and 47 seconds. But we're not set for real high speed here or poor quality. It's I imagine they have this set for some decent quality for that period of time. And there we have it, yet another Benchy for the collection. Pretty decent adhesion here, and yeah, everything looks good. Everything looks good on it. No complaints. So there it is, a first look, unbox and setup of the Anycubic Kobra S1 with the Anycubic ACE Pro filament feeder. I still like to call that an AMS because all these other ones I'm used to. Does kind of the same thing. One of the features of this though is it has filament drying built in. You will need a separate power source, so it doesn't like operate off the same power as your printer. You'll have a separate cord for it. Not a big deal, just something to be aware of. So far, I like it. Obviously, I've only done this one little print, and I'll be putting this through its paces here very, very shortly and comparing it with my Bamboo Lab printers over here as well. And also coming up, besides more videos on this particular printer, will be the Kobra Max combo, which I have. It's here. I just don't have it down here and assembled yet. And actually, I got to figure out where I'm going to put it because it's big. But it is going to be replacing my longer LK5 that I have since sold. I've had it many, many years. Served me very well. But I needed something a little bit newer, a little bit faster. And I wanted the multi-filament capability. That was the big selling point on it. So, again, this is not sponsored. I am not an affiliate. There's no links to buy this and get me a commission or anything else. So, this is a very, very honest review, and it'll be an even more in-depth one coming up. Thanks for watching. I'm Roger in the Print Farm. See you in the next one.